What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? We got a lot of injuries around the league to talk about. We're going to talk about Yermin Mercedes. We got a lot to talk about here. Let's get to it. Man, what's going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? Hello. We got about 21 people in the chat right now. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. What's going on, everyone? William Fulgham, James Scott. Hello, Yogi Dude, Banana. What's going on? Nicolo Sarantino. What's going on? Pickle Man. How you doing, my friend? Jake R. Ben Belier. Hello. And what's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a few days since I have been here. We've had some stuff going on at work. I've had some stuff going on outside of work, but I'm here. I'm ready to talk some baseball. It's nice to have baseball season in full swing. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight, actually. There's a lot going on around the league right now. A lot of injuries going on right now. A lot of guys going down to whatever ailment it may be, something with a shoulder or something with a quad or whatever, but a lot of big names too are going through some injuries. So we're going to get to all those. We're going to get to a couple of interesting stories tonight as well. There is a lot to dig up. There is a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that happened yesterday as well that all of you may be aware of, but I wasn't here yesterday, so I wasn't able to talk about those things. So we'll just quickly go into those things from yesterday and, of course, the news going on around the league today. So before I get started, everyone, hopefully we get a few more people in the chat. We have 21 people as of right now, so hopefully we start to see a few more people trickle on in. But if you are new right now, think about hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. That would be awesome. We just hit 6K recently, and that was great to accomplish that little milestone. But let's see if we can get to 7K by the All-Star break. Even sooner would be better. But alrighty, everyone, I'm going to come back to you here. So also, if you can, hit that like button. It really helps the stream get out to more baseball fans. And go follow me on Twitter as well if you want to talk some baseball throughout the day. But yeah, we're off to a pretty fun start this season. We've had some surprising names. We've had some surprising results so far from a few teams. But we're going to kind of dive into, at least to me, the big one right now. And that is Fernando Tatis Jr. put on the injured list with shoulder inflammation. Went down with a bit of an injury yesterday or a couple days ago. And it was not a pretty sight seeing him taking a hack at a pitch, and on the follow-through, just completely crumbled to the ground. It did not look pretty at all. Let's go take a look at the story right now, because there's a couple of interesting things to take a look at here, and we have some comments from a former general manager as well. He weighed in on it, and he doesn't think it's looking very good for Fernando Tatis Jr. So let's go take a look here. Here we go. So here's the original story. So Padres, this happened yesterday, put him on the 10-day injured list. So as you can see here, Padres shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. exited their game against the Giants on Monday with what looked like a potentially disastrous left shoulder injury. The Padres found out Tuesday that Tatis suffered a slight labrum tear, and I can actually relate to that, everyone. I mean, I haven't torn my labrum in my shoulder, but I've torn my labrum in my left hip. And I do powerlifting, and yeah, so all the years of just lifting, it's been a wear and tear on my joints, and I have had a labrum tear in my hip. It's something you can live with. You don't need to get surgery on it. It's not really something that is devastating. In a shoulder, it can be a little more than a hip. The shoulder is a little more of a sensitive area, but as of right now, it says it's a slight labrum tear. I will say having the hip and the shoulder are very similar joints. It's a ball and a socket. So I will say having a labrum tear in my hip, it was hard. Like there were days I would try to get down and tie my shoe, and I couldn't even do it. And I'd try to get up, and like I'd have to use my other leg to help me get up. So I'm not sure. Overall, right now, I will say this as of right now, there's a lot of inflammation going on right now. I will say, I don't think we know the full extent of this as of right now because, hey, there's a lot of inflammation going on in there right now, and it's going to be kind of hard to fully see everything going on in that joint. So they're going to give it a few days, and they're going to give it some time and let things kind of calm down a little bit. And then I think they're going to reevaluate here in a little bit. So, of course, they got the MRI. They're going to do another MRI eventually, I would imagine. They're going to be taking a look at it again because you have to let that inflammation die down. So, but as of right now, they are recalling Brian O'Grady. So that will be the guy taking Tatis Jr.'s place. It's really interesting because, like I said, a labrum tear can it's a little more it's more serious than it would be in a hip, just because the shoulder is, again, a little more sensitive. But it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening with this. I feel like this could go either way. Is this something he could play through? Is this something where, don't forget, they also just signed him to a long-term contract. Would this be something maybe they want to just, get repaired right away? And, I don't know. Or maybe have him try and play through it, through the season and maybe get to the offseason and have surgery then. It's going to be interesting. However, there were some interesting comments. So on CBS, we had some interesting comments from David Sampson, former general manager for the Marlins. And he is not as optimistic about it. So, according to the article here, San Diego Padres star Fernando Tatis Jr. had an MRI on his hurt shoulder that showed a labrum tear, bringing up a possible serious issue for the slugger and his team. AJ Preller says this injury is non-surgical, which he is right. You don't need to get surgery on it, but David Sampson sat down on his podcast, Nothing Personal with David Sampson, to discuss why he believes those claims are false. Well, we found out nothing because all the Padres did was announce that there was an MRI and Tatis had a slight labrum tear. Sampson begins, adding that Preller's announcement that it was a non-surgical. AJ Preller wouldn't know a non-surgical injury from a surgical injury if he hadn't watched Grey's Anatomy. Labrum tears are absolutely surgical injuries, period. Well, so he is right about that. You don't need... So let me clarify exactly what I meant. The only way to fix a labrum tear is surgery. You have to get surgery on a labrum tear. You can live with it. You can deal with it. It's not something like an ACL. Like if you tore your ACL, like you kind of need you can't really do much with that. With a labrum tear, you can live your life with a labrum tear. However, are you going to be at your best? Probably not. So it's something maybe he could try and play through, but he is correct on this. A labrum tear, the only way to fix a labrum is surgery because there's no blood flow going to the labrum, so it's not going to be able to repair itself. Basically, what the labrum is, it's basically like a cushion between the ball and the socket. It kind of helps everything move around, without any bone-to-bone contact. So when that's torn, it's not really all that great. So you do need to get surgery on a labrum tear. That's the only way you can fix a labral tear. It's not going to heal itself. So this is interesting that he's saying this, and it also, former executive in Major League Baseball. They're going to be a little hush-hush about this right now. They're going to be, they're going to put him on the injured list. They're going to kind of weigh their options. Don't be surprised if you hear that Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be out for a little bit. Do not be surprised about that. If we end up hearing that, I wouldn't be surprised at all because, like I said, I've had a labrum tear. Granted, it wasn't a different spot, but they're similar joints. But it's going to be interesting, to say the least, what ends up happening with this. If the Padres were to not have, let's just kind of look at right now, Padres roster resource. Let's kind of take a look at what the Padres are working with. So Losing Tatis Jr., man, that's going to be, that'd be kind of a big blow. If you look right now, this is the lineup. So without Tatis Jr., it's funny looking at this lineup without him, because even though they do have some good pieces in this lineup, it's just you're just missing that name. You know, like it's still, I think, a decent lineup without him. Ha-Seong Kim is an interesting name to keep an eye out for. Could Ha-Seong Kim end up being a pretty decent replacement for a Fernando Tatis Jr.? Ha-Seong Kim was the best player over in the KBO. Now, I like Ha-Seong Kim. The guy was awesome to watch. In a way, it kind of reminds me of a Fernando Tatis Jr., kind of like an all-around player. Maybe not to the level of a Fernando Tatis Jr., but I think Ha-Seong Kim, it's, could get really thrusted into the spotlight here, and try and see if he can replicate what he did over in the KBO, because overall, Ha-Seong Kim, he had great numbers over in the KBO. Granted, though, it's the KBO. Is that going to translate to the major leagues? So, but, you still got a pretty good lineup here. You still have Manny Machado here. You still got Jake Cronenworth there going into his second season. Will Myers had a good season last year. Jerickson Profar, he's solid. Eric Hosmer, they're just trying to, if he can just get back to being that 25, 30 home run guy, that's going to be good. They still have some decent pieces here, and Tommy Pham as well. I think this Padres team, I actually think they would be okay. I think they would be fine. I mean, man, but losing that name, that's a pretty decent name to lose. The starting rotation is still really good. The bullpen is still really good. The offense definitely would take a bit of a hit, but hey, what make a good team is a team that has guys that can step up, when these kind of guys go down. Hey, if Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be out for a long time, I'm going to be interested to see what these other guys can do. So, moving on. We got a ton of injuries to talk about. There's a lot of injuries going on right now. And one guy who was supposed to be making his debut tomorrow, it's looking like he's going to actually get pushed back a little bit. And that's George Springer. Now looking like there's something going on with his quad. So let's go take a look at George Springer. He got an MRI today on the quad. So taking a look here, George Springer undergoes MRI on the quad. Blue Jay center fielder George Springer looked as if he could make his 2021 debut Thursday, but there's no longer a chance of that happening. Springer felt tightness in his right quad while running the bases on Tuesday and has undergone an MRI. So he was out for a little bit. He had an oblique strain. I was thinking he was going to miss maybe a little bit more time, but it looks like that oblique strain really healed up very well. But now the quad, it's like, Springer's start right now with the Blue Jays. It's not looking great, but I think he's going to be fine. Hey, I have to wait and see what ends up going on here. Right now with the Blue Jays, if we take a look. Taking a look at the Blue Jays. And also, everyone, I will kind of get to the scores and everything here in a little bit, but I just want to get caught up on the news because there is a lot of news to talk about. So as of right now, we see the Blue Jays at a 500 record, 3-3. Played the Yankees really well in that opening series. This lineup is still really good, even without Springer. So I think they're going to be able to hold down the fort until he gets back. They're still this lineup is loaded. So, HMA, what's going on, my friend? Highlight reel. Hello. How are you, my friend? What's going on? Hello. But yeah, this Blue Jays lineup is still awesome. There's still a lot to like here. So, Springer is really just icing on the cake at this point. But yeah, so have to keep an eye out for George Springer. I guess, if you want to look at the bright side of it, hey, if maybe that oblique was still maybe a little iffy, hey, maybe this can kind of help it kind of heal up just a little extra. So have to take a look. Gotta be a little careful about those quads. So it's not fun when you do something to your quad. I've had a couple of things to my quad before, so you don't want that. Anyway, let's move on to the next injury. Let's look at some other injuries going on throughout the league. We got everyone going down so far in the 2021 season. The next guy, someone who's already been down just like Springer, but this guy's been out for a lot longer, and now it looks like he's going to be shut down for a couple of more weeks, and that's Mike Soroka. Shut down for 2 weeks. So as we know with Mike Soroka, this guy tore his Achilles last year, a heartbreaker. If the Braves had him in the playoffs, good chance maybe the Braves would have gotten by the Dodgers there and made it to the World Series. And who knows, maybe we could have had a different World Series champion. But Mike Soroka, tough break for him. He had the Achilles tear, and now he's going to take a little longer on the road back to the major leagues because of some shoulder inflammation. They're going to shut him down for a couple of weeks. They're not going to take any chances with this. So the Braves will shut down right-hander Mike Soroka for 2 weeks after he felt shoulder discomfort at their alternate site. Soroka has been recovering from a torn right Achilles tendon and hasn't pitched in the majors this year as a result. So back in 2019, the guy had a really good season, 2.68 ERA over about 175 innings, had an all-star game appearance. Hey, I think with Soroka, it's, you're coming back from this kind of an injury. An Achilles tear, something you don't really ever see in baseball very much. You see it, more in basketball and football. But with baseball, you don't really ever see this very much. So, he's trying to, get himself back. He's, no pun intended, he's trying to get his legs under him. And, hey, you know what? I'm not surprised that, the shoulder is kind of getting a little worn out right now, getting some inflammation in there. It's not feeling all that great. So the road to recovery, it's going to take a little longer for Mike Soroka. And, the Braves this year, man, they are not off to a great start. Those PECOTA projections are, I don't know. The Braves got off to a terrible start, man. But PECOTA actually has them projected for a third-place finish. The Braves have done a little better in the last couple of days, but they were off to an 0-4 start. So, as we know with the pitching as of right now, you still got Max Fried, Charlie Morton's there, Ian Anderson, so Drew Smiley's there as well. So the Braves, I think they're going to need a Mike Soroka this year if they're going to want to be serious about any kind of contention. Mike Soroka is that good. So, alrighty. But anyway, moving on. So Mike Soroka, will have to keep an eye out for him, see how he progresses over the next couple of weeks. We have another injury to talk about. This guy could end up missing a few months with his new team, the Oakland A's, Trevor Rosenthal. It was possible that Trevor Rosenthal, it was looking like maybe there was a thought out there I read somewhere that maybe he could miss this entire season. But it's looking like he might be able to avoid a season-ending injury. So let's go take a look. Taking a look at Trevor Rosenthal. Here we go. So he could require thoracic outlet surgery. He was having some problems with the throwing arm a little bit. But now it's looking like, as of recent developments, that he could be needing thoracic outlet surgery. He is still weighing his options here. It's a sudden and troubling development for the struggling A's club, who are doing so bad as of right now. Like, what the heck happened to this Oakland team? I mean, good grief. They're 1-6 on the year. They're doing horrible. They're just, I don't know what the heck is going on, but this team has just been absolutely horrible to start off this season. With the Oakland A's, they have been slow starters in the past, so I'm not really going to look at this too much right now, but they're definitely going to need a Trevor Rosenthal. They're definitely going to need him a lot. Going with the Padres last year, he was really good. He went to the Royals and he got traded to the Padres, but he was really good last year. He got himself a nice payday, a 1-year, $11 million deal, and usually the A's never really give out money like that. And they took a chance on this, and hey, and now it's not really working out. So now the A's are like, we never do that kind of a move. Why did we do this? Why did we pay this guy all this money? Who knows if he's going to end up coming back? I would imagine at some point he would come back. You see a lot more of these guys these days getting thoracic outlet surgery. And that's kind of more, you're hearing that just as much as Tommy John, I feel like. So, Bobby Ross Paints, what's going on? Yes, Bobby Ross Paints talked about George Springer having some problems with the quad, could miss a little more time. So, I think in the end, I think he's going to be fine. So, but yeah, as for the A's, this is a guy they brought in for the back end of the bullpen. Losing Liam Hendricks, this guy was a very nice fit for the back end of the bullpen there to take his place. And now that he's definitely not going to be there. If he does get the surgery, he's not going to be there for at least a few months. So if the A's can get themselves back on track and they can kind of put together a few wins here and get back into the conversation of playoff contention, Maybe he comes back for the second half. If he does end up getting surgery, he could end up coming back for the second half of the year, maybe like a down the stretch kind of a thing. And hey, maybe that could end up working out for the A's a lot. But they're going to need to figure something out now because this team is off to a terrible start. 1-6, already 4.5 back in the division. I mean, look at the Rangers, 3-3. I mean, the A's to me are a much more talented team than the Rangers. I had the A's finishing in second place in the West. So, and the team that I had finishing third, maybe a silly pick on my end. It's still early, but Astros are looking really good right now. Angels are looking good. But the A's, they're off to a very tough start. They've gotten off to tough starts in the past. So can we see the A's maybe bounce back? We'll have to wait and see. But Trevor Rosenthal, a big loss if they do end up losing him. Let's stay out west. Another injury to talk about. The Seattle Mariners, one guy that they brought back, one of their better pitchers in recent memory, James Paxton, leaving with forearm pain in his start recently. And let's go take a look. Every time you hear forearm pain, that's a scary thing to hear, because if you hear forearm pain, usually that could mean Tommy John. But it looks like maybe they've avoided that. So let's go take a look. And you hate to see it with James Paxton too, because, you know, James Paxton, he was having a lot of problems injury-wise with the Yankees last year. He never really got it going with the Yankees. And now to go back to the Mariners, you know, kind of a nice story, going back to Seattle where he did so well for so many years. And, hey, you know, I think the Mariners could be a pretty good team this year. I think they could be a surprise team this year. But to me, Paxton was a big reason why, but he would have to get back to what he was doing before. But so as of right now, the Mariners announced that Paxton and also Jake Fraley too, both being placed on the injured list. Paxton has been diagnosed with a left forearm strain. So, and as for Fraley, it was a hamstring strain. So Paxton, man, as of this morning, it said James Paxton returned to the Mariners rotation last night after 2 years in the Bronx, but his start was cut short by another forearm injury. So he has had problems with this before, as he exited after just 1 1/3 innings. So, I mean, you never want to hear anything about the forearm, because usually the forearm, you think right away, Tommy John. So, hopefully for the Mariners, because I think the Mariners could be a pretty good team this year. I think the Mariners could be a bit of a surprise team. I love the talent they have. I think they're still, you know, a good maybe couple years away from really being a actual threat in that division. But I think this team this year could have been, you know, a pretty fun team. But Paxton, I think, they're going to need Paxton. They're going to need him. So keep an eye out for Paxton as well. Man, are we done with the injuries? I feel like we're done with the injuries as of right now. I think there's a lot of little injuries going on throughout the week, throughout the year so far. It's, you know, you're gonna have these little things popping up. There's just, you know, it's the beginning of the season. Guys are gonna be kind of going through little things trying to get going into the season. But I think we're done with the injuries for now, at least like the big names. But let's talk about one rookie so far this year. This guy has completely been the one of the bigger stories this year. Had an amazing start, starting off 8 for 8 in this season. Absolutely insane. Yermin Mercedes, and an interesting story today. The Athletic wrote up on Mercedes, and there was a little part in there where the Orioles were actually glad that he went to the White Sox. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Before I get into that, let's take a look at so far what he's doing. These guys' numbers, I know it's early, and, you know, some people might say this is a bit of an overreaction, but, I mean, the guy's numbers are stupid good right now. Take a look at this. 23 at-bats. He's hitting .565. He's driven in 6 runs. The guy's on base is stupid. The guy's slugging is stupid. Look at the OPS plus. I mean, obviously, it's a very small sample size, but, you know, considering what this guy has kind of done, you know, throughout his career. He started his career with the Nationals, ended up kind of being in the minor leagues for a really long time, since 2011. So he was with the Nationals, he was with the Orioles, and then now he's with the White Sox. So he went to the White Sox in the Rule 5 draft. So let's go take a look at this real quick. So the Athletic, they did an article, Trevor Rosenthal did, Yermin Mercedes, long road to the majors. So as we can see here, Yermin, is it Yermin? I'm gonna say Yermin. Yermin Mercedes' long road to the majors. Is it? Hold on, let me see how they. I think it says Yermin, right? I'm never good at pronouncing names. Whatever. I'm gonna say Yermin. Or probably, is it Yermin? Whatever. Mercedes' long road to the majors began with Nationals Assistant General Manager of International Operations, John DiPuglia, whatever, who is best known for presiding over the team's signings of Juan Soto, Victor Robles, and a number of other Latin American players. Mercedes, 28, was another find, a $20,000 signing in March 2011 out of the same camp in the Dominican Republic that later produced Soto. So he went on to say here, or actually real quick, 8 years later, in the wake of his stunning debut with the White Sox, DiPuglia admits that he didn't have the proper read on Mercedes. So taking a look at what he said here, he said, I misjudged the makeup. For him to get to the big leagues after the struggles he had, it shows me he had a lot more mental fortitude than I thought he did. He had some discipline problems over there. I won't deny that. Let's actually take a look at the minor league numbers real quick. In the minor leagues, I mean, he has some pretty good numbers in the minor leagues. Hit 302, but it was kind of more off the field stuff with him. And then also Buck Showalter had some interesting thoughts too, but there was some more quotes from DiPuglia. He always could hit. So there was never really a question of what he could produce on the field. So it was more, again, like kind of like the off the field stuff, kind of, some personal growing pains, I would say. But take a look here. Buck Showalter had some pretty interesting thoughts. Or actually, let me read this real quick. One problem then and now was Mercedes catching and a lack of defensive position overall. According to his scouting report on MLB.com, while he has a solid arm and posts good framing metrics, he's a shaky receiver who some scouts consider well below average. Some with the Orioles, too, had unspecified concerns about Mercedes' makeup. The team left him not only off its 40-man roster in 2017, but also its AAA reserve list, enabling the White Sox to grab him in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft. So Buck Showalter ended up going on to say, there's a reason why he's moved around. Trust me, it's not just pure baseball. I remember when he was taken in the Rule 5 draft, we were glad they took him. So, pretty interesting quote right there. It doesn't mean he can't play. You trust your people. I saw the numbers. He could hit a little bit, but I remember talking to the farm director, talking to the general manager. What do we got on this guy? They did not think his ability would override the other challenges that he had. So, there were definitely some makeup concerns with this guy. And I don't know, it seemed... Hopefully he's figured everything out off the field, because on the field, he is just playing his butt off right now. This guy was 8 for 8 to start off his career. He was just going nuts. So, I mean, pretty awesome story to start off this year. A guy that's been just a minor league journeyman throughout his career. Never even got to the majors until he had one. It looked like he had one at bat. He had one at bat last year. So. And then this year, he's playing his butt off right now. So pretty fun to see. Could he? I don't think he's going to be putting up these numbers. Once teams kind of start to figure him out, once they get more scouting reports on him, he's going to come back down to earth a little bit. But hey, could this guy maybe stay around like a 300 average? If he does for the whole year, I mean, good grief. I mean, look out for a Rookie of the Year contender. It's always possible. Like in my predictions. I don't know if any of you remember me saying this, but I feel like in the Rookie of the Year prediction or awards, there's always just some random guy that kind of pops up, in either the American or the National League. Like last year, the National League, no one was picking Devin Williams to win Rookie of the Year. There's been many other guys in the past where you just, if we go take a look, actually, Rookie of the Year MLB winners. Let's go take a look at some of these Rookie of the Years. Here we go. So, like last year, I don't think a lot of people were picking Kyle Lewis to win the award last year. A lot of people were picking Luis Robert. Even some people had Jared Kelenic maybe. So, you've had some guys like Michael Fulmer, some pretty just, interesting names in the past where they kind of came out of nowhere. And, I don't know. But could Yermin Mercedes end up being a pretty good player this year. We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot more time left in this season, obviously. So I'm pretty interested. If he ends up still playing like, around a 300 average, that's just icing on the cake for that White Sox lineup. So, alrighty, let's come back here. Our next story. Alrighty, so let's kind of move over into the executive side, into the front office side. So for the Blue Jays, had themselves a very solid offseason, bringing in George Springer, who we did talk about earlier. But they are locking up their general manager, Ross Atkins, signing him to a 5-year extension. Let's go take a look at that. Alrighty, here we go. All right, so as we can see here, as of 9:32 this morning, Atkins' contract begins at the end of this season, so it covers the 2022 to 26 campaigns. So, hey, this guy has done some good work. He's definitely beefed up that farm system. He's brought in some really solid major league talent. Ross Atkins, man, he's been very good for this Blue Jays organization so far. I mean, like, if you look at the names here that the Blue Jays have, young names: Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who they also got signed to a very team-friendly deal, one of the best contracts in all of the game. Teoscar Hernandez, they've all emerged as really good players. Hyunjin Ryu, he was able to get signed. You got, guys down in the minor leagues. Nate Pearson is going to come around eventually. Simeon Woods Richardson. You got an Alek Manoah too. I mean, there's some really good players, and then there's also some other guys. Like a Rowdy Tellez and a Danny Jansen. I mean, this Blue Jays organization, it's running very well, and to me, I think it's a no-brainer to have this guy locked up for the next 5 years. So. Good for the Blue Jays. I think this is good for them. He's obviously been a good piece for them. It's obviously working. So you might as well keep him around for about 5 more years. So have to wait and see. Could he get a new contract after that? Let's see how the Blue Jays are doing in 5 years from now. Our next story. We have a pretty interesting one. So the Phillies bringing back Didi Gregorius, but there was something out there that the Phillies actually preferred Andrelton Simmons, who ended up going to the Twins. So we're kind of going back to the offseason a little bit. So let's go take a look at this really quick. Pretty interesting story. I read this on Phillies Nation. And actually, this is according to Ken Rosenthal. But I read it on Phillies Nation. Let's go take a look. Coming back to you guys here. So very interesting story. So Didi Gregorius, as we know, he's back with the Phillies, signed a contract with them. But Ken Rosenthal, he reported that the Phillies were more keen on Andrelton Simmons in free agency. They felt a deal was in reach. And, Simmons, he was being linked to the Phillies a little bit in the offseason. And I think some people were kind of surprised he ended up not going to the Phillies. And I thought, hey, I thought that would have been a good fit. He probably wouldn't have cost as much as a Didi. And it ended up being cheaper for the Twins. I think that maybe the Phillies are maybe trying to bring him in on like a 2-year deal, but it looks like Simmons, I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but I'm guessing maybe Simmons took a 1-year deal to kind of take a chance on himself. Maybe he took more money for that 1 year, and maybe the Phillies were offering him like a 2-year, I don't know, like a 2-year, $16 million, like $8 million per year. So instead, he took $2 more million for the 1 year. That's what I'm thinking. Thinking maybe he wanted to take a chance on himself. And and then the Phillies are like, all right, well, we're gonna go back with Gregorius. So kind of interesting. Gregorius, he to me is like he's gonna get the job done at short. He's not really gonna be like this amazing defender. He's going to be more of an offensive kind of guy, but he's going to get the job done out at short. But it looks like the Phillies, they were kind of looking more like, all right, we like our offense even without a Didi Gregorius. We wanted to, kind of shore up the defense. So I think that's what their mentality was in this offseason. And, but yeah, ended up not working out. And they said, all right, well, let's just bring back Didi for a couple of years. So, but yeah. That's the story with that. I thought that was pretty interesting. So who knows what would have happened if we ended up seeing an Andrelton Simmons with the Phillies. Who knows where? I actually predicted Didi Gregorius to go to the Twins. So maybe that could have been a flip-flop. We'll have to, I don't know. We'll never know. We'll never know what would have happened. But alrighty, we got a few more stories to talk about here. few more stories. Alrighty, so okay, I'm gonna get back to yesterday now. So again, I didn't go live yesterday, but we had a couple of trades happen. So a couple of pretty interesting trades. Well, first off, we never see trades around this time, so they're just interesting by default, just because of the time frame. Usually, we get into, like May before we start seeing some trades, but you never really see any trades like the first week of the season. But the one that kind of stuck out the most yesterday was Odor going to the Yankees. This is some people kind of scratching their heads at this one. So let's go take a look. Here we go, sharing the screen. So Rougned Odor ended up he had a bit of a contract with the Rangers. The Rangers are going to be paying that contract. And he's going to be going to the Yankees. He's had, it's an interesting one. Let me actually see here. Let me pull up the stats from Odor. So Odor, the one thing with him is okay. In 2019, he was really good with the power. Had 30 home runs. He drove in 93 runs. But he only hit 205. He only had a 283 on base. It's not great. I don't know. I'm not into like the guys that can hit for so much power, but they can't really get on base. I need these guys to get on base. His batting average was better in 2018. Had the 18 home runs that year, but the guy has 30 home run potential. He's had 3 different seasons where he's hit at least 30 home runs. So for him, it's just really the on base. With him, he plays second. I think he can play some other positions as well. Let me go to the Yankees right now. Let's go look at their depth chart. So this is a guy where he's going to come off the bench. As of right now, their options were they had Tyler Wade, but they didn't really have like a lot of pop off the bench. They didn't really have like a lot of power coming off. So that's kind of where Odor comes in. So he's mainly a second baseman. I don't know. Can he play third? Let me actually look here. Let's take a look at the fielding. No, he's only played second in his career. So as of right now, he's not great defensively. If we take a look, I mean, overall, the UZR is never really, well, I guess in 2018 it was okay. He did pretty well defensively in 2018, but the last couple of years, he hasn't been very good defensively. Let's take a look at the defensive runs above average. Not great, but in 2018, he had some better defensive numbers, an 8.5 defensive runs above average. So, James, that's what I thought I read somewhere that he could be an option for third. But either way, it's a guy that can, definitely back up for second as well. I think it's fine. I think the Yankees, getting a little more power off the bench. I have to wait and see. A lot of people were kind of scratching their heads over it, but because I guess a lot of people weren't really understanding and they gave up a pair of prospects. But at least for the Yankees, they're not having to really pay a lot at all. I think they're paying only $570K. So, I mean, that's nothing. So you're getting some power for basically nothing, almost for free. I mean, you had to give up a couple of prospects, but I was reading that these prospects, we had Josh Stowers and Antonio Cabello. I read that these were more like kind of lottery guys where they didn't really look like they were going to get any kind of a chance in the major leagues. So maybe they can get, maybe something else going with the Rangers. But I think for the Rangers, hey, you know what? You're getting a couple of prospects. I think that's what the Rangers need to do. I think the Rangers need to be bringing in some minor leaguers. If we take a look here, Cabello as a catcher outfielder, though he's played exclusively in the outfield in his minor league career. ESPN ranked Cabello as the Yankees' 18th best prospect. So Stowers, 24, has now been part of 2 trades during his career. He was originally a second-round pick of the Mariners in 2018, but they dealt him to the Yankees as part of a 3-team deal that involves Sonny Gray. Stowers slashed an impressive 273 with 7 homers and 35 steals in Single A in 2019. So they're getting a couple of decent prospects here. It just seemed like they weren't really going to be getting anywhere with the Yankees, according to what I was reading. I don't remember where I read that. But yeah, I mean, for the Rangers, I think it's good for the Rangers. I mean, why hang on to this guy? He's not even really hitting all that much. So it looks like the Yankees, they just felt, hey, we want a little more pop coming off the bench. So, yeah. Hey, we'll have to see if it works out. I feel like the Yankees end up doing pretty well with these kind of moves, like where, you get a guy that can hit for some power. And I feel like these guys, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but just knowing how the Yankees operate, they always just seem to get some kind of a bat that ends up helping them out. One guy that comes to mind was, I'm going blank on his name. Who was that? It was he was the designated hitter. What was his name? He was in 2018. It's killing me right now. Who was that? That was... someone help me out in the chat. Who am I? I'm going blank. They brought in a guy that had some power. I don't think he's playing right now. No, it wasn't Chase Headley. Was it 2018 or was it 2019? Might have been 2019. I'm going so blank on his name. Who was it? Oh, no, it wasn't that guy. I'm going blank. No, it wasn't Todd Frazier. Oh, Edwin Encarnacion. That was the guy I'm thinking of. That's who I'm thinking of. They brought in Encarnacion. He got some power. I don't know. That's just one. The Yankees always seem to kind of bring in some of these guys that can, hit for a little more pop. So, hey, have to see if it works out for him. But here we go. We had another trade moving over to the National League this time. We had Orlando Arcia going to the Braves. So, for the last couple of years, you've had Orlando Arcia and Luis Urias kind of, I guess, battling it out for the shortstop spot. And it looks like Urias is now the guy for the Brewers. He had Arcia, he was kind of coming off the bench a little bit, could move around. But it looks like the Brewers, they are moving on from Orlando Arcia. So let's go take a look. Here we go. Coming back here. Alrighty, so as you can see, yesterday the Brewers traded Orlando Arcia to the Braves. The Brewers and the Braves have lined up on a rare early season trade involving 3 players on the team's respective 40-man rosters. The Brewers are sending infielder Orlando Arcia to the Braves in return for right-handed relievers Patrick Weigel and Chad Sobotka. So those two guys are gonna go to the Brewers' alternate training site. So it says here, while it's a bit surprising to see a trade of any note taking place so early in the season, Arcia's role with the Brewers has diminished in recent years. The hope at one point was that he'd be the long-term answer at short, but Luis Urias now looks to be the preferred option at the position for the Brew Crew. Arcia has also seen some time at third base this year, but Travis Shaw, who they brought in, he is kind of now looking like the option there. So Arcia was off to a bit of a slow start. For the Braves, they got Dansby Swanson as their shortstop, so it's looking like Arcia is going to be more of like a utility bench guy. Hey, it's just going to shore up the Braves' depth a little bit. And for the Brewers, they're getting a couple of guys that can, go to the minor leagues for them. So, pretty interesting. Because Orlando Arcia, this is an interesting guy where a couple of years ago, if we take a look, he actually he was playing pretty decently. And if you go back to 2017, that year he hit 277. He had the 15 home runs. He had the 53 RBIs. He had 14 stolen bases. Had a pretty good glove. But he just hasn't really seemed to get it going. 2019, there was a low batting average, the low on base, but he did hit it for some power, did drive in some runs. But he just hasn't really been able to establish himself, while Luis Urias has kind of turned into that option. If we take a look, I want to go take a look. How are these guys doing, Luis Urias? Urias is a guy, he's got a really good glove out there. So he's not going to really, I don't think he's going to provide for much power. I think Travis Shaw also at third. Shaw, it's kind of what he has a home run so far this year, hitting 273 over 50 plate appearances so far. So only hitting 190 though, but I don't know. He's got a couple of... Or no, that was spring training. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So, I was about to say, that's a lot of plate appearances so far. How the heck do you have that many plate appearances? So, he's got 12 plate appearances. Has a home run already. He's driven in 6 RBIs, the 273 average. So, it seems like the Brewers, they kind of like what they're seeing from Shaw. And they're definitely comfortable with moving on from Arcia. And they're getting a couple of guys in return for the minor leagues. So, but wow, I think I got through all of the news. Wow. That was a lot of news. I kind of moved through that one pretty quick, but let's go take a look. Let's go see what's going on around Major League Baseball right now. Kind of hang out for a little bit with you guys. We got 31 people here in the chat. What is going on? Yougster. the great Bambino. Lots of big names that have been signed have not gone to the Yanks. They usually get everyone. Odor and Tyon. But yeah, James. You know, I like it. I like the move for the Braves. I think it was a nice depth move. But let's take a look. Let's see what's going on for Major League Baseball right now. Taking a look at some of the scores. Yankees right now, bottom of the ninth. 2-2 tie. We got 2 outs right now with the Yankees and the Orioles. I'll go pull that up. Let me close out some of these tabs. I got so many tabs open. Let's take a look. But yeah, my Red Sox won today. They had an exciting win last night, falling down a couple of times to the Rays, able to tie it up late in the game there. And then they ended up winning it in extras thanks to a JD Martinez double. I was going crazy watching that, so that was cool. Red Sox had a big win today. That game was on YouTube for free. So, hey, look at YouTube stepping up. That was pretty interesting. They had the game on YouTube, and in the comments, they only had like the big baseball accounts, like Giraffe Neck Mark they had in there. They had Stark Raving Sports. So basically people who had a lot of subscribers. Basically was they were the only people allowed in the comments section for the Rays and the Red Sox, which kind of didn't mind in a way because you'd be getting a ton of people in that chat. So pretty cool to see all the bigger YouTubers doing like a little YouTube commentary for that game today. But the Red Sox winning in a big way today. Christian Vasquez is looking really good with the bat. As of right now, the Rockies have a 3-0 lead. I don't know. My Diamondbacks, man, I always want to give the Diamondbacks a chance, but they just never really seem to get it going, man. 3-0 right now for the Rockies. Braves winning today. Or actually, the Braves and the Nationals played 2 today. So the Braves took both games against the Nationals. Reds, look at the Reds right now, man. The Reds are playing insane right now. Let's go take a look. The Reds, man. What is going on? No, I don't want to get MLB trade rumors. The Reds. I mean, you got Castellanos the other day, which I thought was like, what the heck is this guy doing? With Jake Woodford there, I guess he slid in. He was flexing over him and stuff, and he's like cursing at him. It's like, what the heck are you doing, guy? Let's take a look at the standings. Standings don't really mean all that much right now, but it's always fun to go take a look at the standings. AL East pretty much separated by, a game and a half from everyone. So Tampa, it's only 6 games, but Tampa, they're kind of looking a little up and down so far. Hey, my Red Sox, I'm glad they were able to make it back to 500, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Hey, Jackson's in the chat. What's going on? What's up? We swept Tampa. Let's go. Yeah, the Marlins, man. Minnesota, 4-2. As of right now, they're playing pretty decently. We kind of talked about the AL West earlier. Astros off to a really good start, while the A's are just off to a terrible start. Shohei Ohtani has been really fun to watch so far this year. That's my MVP pick. I'm going Shohei Ohtani this year for MVP. But the Angels, I like this team better than in recent memory. So, liking the Angels. They're 4-2 right now. The Phillies are off to a really good start. That Phillies bullpen, I think a lot of people weren't really giving the Phillies much of a chance because that Phillies bullpen, it's been pretty bad, in the past couple of years. I like the offense, but the starting pitching, it's a little top heavy. Going to be interested to see how the Phillies can kind of, how they do down the stretch. Are they going to have enough starting pitching depth? I think if the Phillies, if they're in it, come around mid-season, they could maybe make a trade for another starting pitcher. But, Zach Eflin has been, pretty good so far this year too. Phillies off to a great start. That bullpen is looking pretty good. Braves, they were off to an 0-4 start. But, they won a couple of games today. The Mets, Nationals, they haven't really, they've missed a couple of games. Cincinnati off to a really good start, 5-1. St. Louis off to a pretty good start. Cubs, Brewers, middle of the road. Pittsburgh, that's not surprising. Dodgers, hey, they're the Dodgers off to a good start. We were watching Trevor Bauer the other night, and he was looking really good until that 7th inning. San Diego, 4-3. San Francisco, 3-3. Rockies, 1. The Rockies, well, they are 1-4. The Rockies, I think, have actually been playing. They've been kind of showing some life. I've been kind of liking what the Rockies are doing. They've scored a lot of runs. They've scored the second most runs in that division so far. So it's just the pitching. That's the only problem with the Rockies. that's what I was thinking. I'm like, Nolan Arenado, like, I didn't think they really needed Nolan Arenado. I think they needed pitching. So that seems to be the problem again. But they're winning right now against Arizona. Let's go take a look at that. Oh, I was looking at the Reds real quick. The Reds, like, what the heck is going on with the Reds right now? 5-1. These guys are just banging. Castellanos, he's hitting really well so far. Look at that OPS so far. 1.610. Nick Castellanos is going crazy. But these guys are hitting right now for the Reds. And Luis Castillo, after that horrible start against the Cardinals at the beginning of the year, Luis Castillo had himself a really, really good start today. 7 innings, 5 Ks, only allowed the 4 hits. Really good start for Castillo to get back on track. I mean, it is the Pirates, but that sometimes you got to go up against a pretty bad team to get yourself back on track. If we go take a look, actually, at taking a look at the Rockies right now. What's going on with the Rockies? The Rockies, like, when they were getting no hit by Bauer, they were losing like 10-0 in that game, and they just started coming back. Like, they scored 6 runs. They had like 3 home runs back to back to back, and they were, or not back to back to back, but I think they hit 3 home runs over 2 innings. But taking a look at the Rockies game day. So we have the Yankees game as well. Top of the 10th, we have free baseball here in the Bronx. I'll tell you, this Orioles team, man, they are pesky right now. They are a very pesky team. Sweeping my Red Sox to start off the year. Taking the Orioles were, if you guys remember last year, the Orioles were a bit of a pesky team. They weren't really like playing all that bad. They were playing actually pretty decently. And they kind of just faded towards the end. But I'm telling you, look out for this Orioles team. They're not going to be a fun team to watch. So, but for the Yankees right now, so that is one thing this year where they are that runner at second in extra innings, because we had that last night with the Red Sox and the Rays. The Rays scored twice, but the Red Sox were able to. They tied it for in the 11th. And then in the 12th, after the Rays took a lead in the top half of the inning, the Red Sox, they scored 2 runs on the J.D. Martinez double. So, that runner at second, it's making things interesting in extra innings, at least, from our perspective, from my perspective so far. But for the Yankees right now, I got a runner on third. Orioles are threatening. I have to wait and see if the Yankees can pull this through. But let's go back as well to some other scores going on. Braves Nationals had a doubleheader today. Let's take a look at the box score for that one. But yeah, Nationals, they were threatening there in the bottom half. Again, don't remember, because they're doubleheaders, they're 7-inning games. So this one only went 7 innings, but this was a really back and forth game in the first couple innings right there. The Braves, by the second inning, had 6 runs. Nationals had 5, and then they went back and forth there at the end. And, the Braves just edging them out. Acuna had himself a really good day, 3 for 4. Albies with a decent day, RBI. Travis d'Arnaud had himself a couple RBIs today. So Acuna had himself that double. Turner had a home run for the Nationals today. Turner had a pretty good game, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Castro had himself a decent day as well, 3 for 4, the 3 RBIs. Juan Soto off to a bit of a slow start, 167 average so far, but it's only, that's 2 games. So, but then if we take a look at the other game, we had a 2-0 game. No, I just clicked on the wrong game. MLB.com, you're killing me right now. Here we go. So, Braves with a 2-0 win. I also didn't look at that pitching performance. Who was pitching today for the Braves? 7-6 final. Who was pitching? So, Fetty? Is that how you pronounce it? He did not do good today. Fried actually got knocked around a little bit. 2 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Don't like to see that. But then in the second game, Strasburg actually pitched really well. 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. Noah pitching for the Braves had himself a pretty good start. I haven't heard of him before. Who was that? Huascar Huascar. How do you say that? How do you pronounce that? Huascar? Huascar Noah, 22 years old. So he has pitched 6 innings so far this year. Yeah, he's doing pretty good so far through 6 innings. So, hey, good to see Strasburg pitch really well. I mean, Rainey just couldn't come through. I mean, he had the Braves score 2 in the 7th inning right there to win the game. So just the bullpen let them down. But would have been nice to maybe see Strasburg get a few more pitches. How many pitches did Strasburg have? 85. So they're still kind of weaning him back in a little bit. So only 85 pitches for Strasburg today. So, but yeah, have to wait and see how these scores develop. The Orioles ended up scoring. Oh boy, Orioles ended up scoring that run. Wait, what the heck did I just click on? MLB.com is like throwing me for a loop right now. I think I click on one thing, and then it's like I clicked on something else. But yeah, the Orioles take the lead here off of Chad Green. We got a 3-2 game now in the Bronx coming up for the Yankees in the next half inning. It's looking like, who are we going to be having? Who did we have in the 9th? We had Torres, Hicks, and Stanton. Stanton hit himself a bomb the other day. Did anyone see that bomb? Are you kidding me? Jesus, he won like 470 feet. That dude, Stanton, man, it is crazy. The guy just hits lasers. So I guess coming up for the Yankees, so if it's after Stanton, we're going to be having Frazier, Bruce, and then, I mean, Higashioka's in at catcher right now. So I have to see if they're going to pinch. Well, I'd imagine Higashioka's going to stay in because if they tie the game, they're going to need him to catch. So, but yeah. Hold on, everyone. I'm going to put this game on the TV. One sec. Alrighty. So let's take a look here. Alrighty. All right, so they get the strikeout there. Yankees are able to get out of it. You know, I'm not like so against the runner on second. I'm not totally against it. It kind of makes it kind of fun almost. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys like the runner on second for extra innings? Like, what do you guys think? Definitely got to watch it on Yes Network. I love Yes Network, man. I mean, Michael Kay, I love listening to Michael Kay. I think Michael Kay is probably one of the better commentators in the game. I like listening to him. Beej, you hate it. Matthew hates it. Yogi Dude dislikes it. Jesse, big no. In a way, like, I can understand it. Like, I'm kind of in the middle. I can understand not liking it, but I can also understand being okay with it just because, I don't know, like, it does kind of speed up. We've had a lot of games, I feel like, in the last few years where, you know, it's going like 19 innings and 18 innings. You know, guys are just striking out more often these days. Did Gleyber Torres have a tough day defensively today? Did he have an error today? They're showing right now on Yes Network. Oh, Torres had a bad throw. Oh, when did that happen? Is that how they scored the run? Yeah, I can understand that, Caden. It's a little gimmicky. Yeah, Caesar, I agree with that, actually. I think that would be kind of like a good, you know, happy medium. Put the runner on first. You know, have a runner on first. I think that'd be good because really it's like if you have the runner on second, just, you know, a hit, it's like, well, there you go. I mean, luckily it worked out for the Red Sox yesterday, but it, worked out. Oh, we got Cesar Valdez. Cesar Valdez pitching right now for the Yankees. For the Orioles, pitching against the Yankees. He had himself a pretty good year last year. Pretty good under-the-radar year. Been in the minor leagues for a long time. Cesar Valdez has himself a very good changeup. Yeah, Jesse. Steroid era was fun. Put the runner on after the 13th. I could actually agree with that. Maybe, maybe like the 10th inning, or 10th and 11th. Maybe I don't know. I could see something like that, like the 10th inning. Put the runner on first, or not have any runners. 11th inning, put a runner on first. 12th inning, put a runner on second, kind of a thing. And then, like, if he gets, like, the 13th, put a runner on third. I don't know, like, something like that. That's a little much. So, wait, what happened with Torres today? So, he had a throwing error. When did that throwing error happen? Was that, like, a pivotal thing, or did that happen in the 4th inning? So, how did this happen? So, the 4th inning. So, no, the Orioles had they had a couple of home runs in the 4th. Oh, so that was in the 10th. Oh, so that's what just happened. Oh, that just happened. So it was a throw. Okay, so they scored on the throwing error. Oh, wow. Gleyber Torres, man, that defense, he's going to be under a microscope this year for the defense. He is really going to be under the microscope. I mean, you're already possibly losing a game because, Torres threw something away. I mean, that's not good. You don't want that. 25 innings is epic. Love it. Here we go. Frazier trying to make something happen. Cesar Valdez is pitching. He's already pitched an inning. An inning and a third, actually. 21 pitches so far, 12 strikes. Cesar Valdez, man, he throws a lot of changeups. Tyler Wade is the runner. Oh, man, look at that changeup. Wow. That was a nasty changeup, man. Cesar Valdez. That guy's got himself a changeup, I'll tell you that. Ukester, I'm a little biased towards the changeups, man, because I was spoiled watching a Pedro Martinez changeup for years. I mean, but the difference with Pedro, the guy had the heat, man. Yep, just a base hit would drive in Wade. Jay Bruce has himself a home run so far with the Yankees. My fellow Ginger, Clint Frazier, could not tie the game. Yankees down to their last 2 outs. Valdez, man, when he's got his stuff going, when he's locating, this guy's nasty. He's like, 36 years old, 37 years old, been in the minor leagues for the last 7 years, 8 years. This guy could be someone, hey, trade deadline comes, he could end up being a pretty good piece for a team down the stretch. Yeah, that's the thing here, James Scott. A home run wins the game. So my MLB TV is a little behind for me. It's already 2 strikes on the computer here. Oh, my God. He left that changeup up. That should have been gone. But MLB TV, the feed is a little behind on MLB Game Day. So a little behind on real life time. So I'm going to try not to look at the screen. Oh, that changeup is so good. He should have nailed that one, the first one. The first one he left completely up in the zone. Robbie, did you see Trevor Rogers, Marlins, spring? Yes, he had very good numbers. He was one of my breakout guys. I had a list of around, I think I had a list of 20 guys total. I put him on my list. Trevor Rogers, man, could end up being really good this year. Oh, my God. 3 straight changeups, man. Wow. Cesar Valdez. Not feeling pressured at all here in the Bronx, man. That guy's just coming in and throwing changeups. That's it. I think he's throwing all changeups. Yep, changeup. And then Frazier. Oh, he threw a couple sinkers. I take that back. He's thrown a couple of sinkers. Goodness gracious, man. Wasn't Jay Bruce with Cleveland? Was he with Cleveland? I don't remember. Let me see. 1-0 count. Higashioka, not really the bat that you're kind of wanting in this spot. But hey, Higashioka, he could get a base hit. Tie the game. Where is Bruce? Was he with the Indians at one point? It's Higashioka. I'm saying Higashioka. Higashioka works a 2-0 count. Was he with Cleveland? No, he was with Cincinnati. He was with the Mets. Oh, yeah, he was in 2017. 2017, he was with Cleveland. So, yeah, he had 43 games, and then he ended up going, or he was with the Mets, and then he went to Cleveland. So, yeah, he was with Cleveland. I forgot about that. Oh, that's a base hit! That's a base hit to right! Here comes Tyler Wade coming home! Safe! The Yankees have tied the game! I just said it a second ago. Higashioka is not really the bat that you're kind of thinking of at the plate, but the guy can get a hit. Higashioka can hit, man. I just said it a second ago. The guy can get a hit. It's not like he's completely useless at the plate. Hey, good opposite field hit for him. Good for him, man. That changeup has been nasty. They had the first 2 batters just go down swinging. Jay Bruce struck out on 3 pitches. Wow, that was really close. Oh, I got to see the replay for this. Wow. Hey, Tyler Wade proving to be a little valuable. Using that speed. Oh, that's cool, Noah. Got a friend that's a cousin of Tyler Wade. You know, Caden, I actually like Michael Kay a lot. I could listen I could listen a lot to Michael Kay. I like listening to him. He's a pretty good down the middle, commentator. He's got a good voice. He can sound epic when he needs to, but he can also just kind of be a calming presence. I like Michael Kay. I think he's one of the better commentators in the game. I mean, I'm biased, but a lot of other people have said this too. I mean, to me, Jerry Remy, Don Orsillo, those guys are great, man. I love listening to those guys. They could make the game. Don Orsillo has one of the best, epic voices of all time, like a walk-off home run. That guy would go nuts. Jerry Remy, just very knowledgeable of the game, used to play. But then they just also had a good chemistry with each other. Good, they could really bring the comedy. Oh man, Cesar Valdez. He made one bad pitch. One bad pitch, man. Yeah, Dan Shulman. Alrighty, so as we are in between breaks here, this game feels like the Rays and the Yankees last night. Feels like the Rays and the Yankees, what am I saying right now? The Rays and the Red Sox. Alrighty, let's go back here. Rockies have extended their lead 5-0. Oh, all these games are done. Oh, wow, there's all these games that I missed today. Whoa, I didn't even talk about the rest of these games. Wow, I was about to say, were there any games? Whatever. Oh, yeah, we had a lot of games on today. Twins taking the win against the Tigers today. Rangers taking a win against the Blue Jays. Let's go take a look at the Twins and the Tigers. Jose Barrios, did he pitch today? No, it was Maeda. Barrios did really good the other day. Kenta Maeda had himself a good start today. Matthew Boyd is actually looking pretty good so far. I mean, he took the loss, but Had himself a pretty good start. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Good start for Boyd. Could Boyd, be a guy that maybe you could see in a trade at some point this year? Alrighty, taking a look at the Rangers and the Blue Jays. Alrighty, so pitching today, Ryu took the loss. Had a pretty good start, 7 innings, 7 Ks, gave up a home run there. Gibson getting the win, 8 strikeouts. So doing the damage for the offense today. Semien had himself a couple of hits today. Had the home run today. Home run in the 8th inning. Brought it to a 2-1 game. But the Rangers, their offense came in the early going, and then the pitching took over. Solak had a home run today off of Ryu. So that was or was that a 2-run home run? Oh, so this is a Solak home run. Oh, wait, no. That was one. Okay, never mind. Tavares had another RBI. So, yeah, most of the offense, all the offense came in the early going for the Rangers today, scoring 2 in the 2nd inning, and that was pretty much all the Rangers needed. Blue Jays made it interesting there in the 8th. But yeah, look at the Rangers so far, 3-3. Brewers taking an extra inning win today. I feel like we're seeing a lot of extra inning games. Is that just me? Cubbies today. Hendricks had himself a good start today. No decision for him. Woodruff had a really good start today. 8 strikeouts over 7. But yeah, Workman faltered there in the at the end of the game. Gave up 2 runs. Alrighty, so the Orioles move the runner over to third. Hey, laying down a sacrifice bunt. That's what I like to see. It's like, lay down the sacrifice bunt. I like seeing that. So now the Orioles got the runner at third. I'm surprised teams just aren't doing that all the time. It's like, lay down the sacrifice. Get the sacrifice bunt. And then go for a sac fly. And then you got a lead. It's like a ground out to the right side would be. It's like, to me, it's that simple. Lay down a bunt. You're a major league player. You should be able to bunt. To me, if you're not a guy, if you can't bunt, it's like, what are you doing? Bunting is a skill, I will say that. It's not the easiest thing. I was not very good at baseball when I was playing in high school, but bunting was always, some people have a tough time with bunting. But yeah, Brewers taking the win here today. Yelich had himself a good day, 3 for 4. Kane had himself 4 RBIs today. Look at Lorenzo Kane. Oh, so he had 2 home runs today. Oh, he had the home run off in the 10th inning. So Kane having the decisive home run today for the Brewers. So look at Lorenzo Kane. I like this Brewers team. We had next up Dodgers. So the A's winning their first game today against the Dodgers in extra innings. Oh, there's a looper. Oh, that's in. And look at that. Hey, sacrifice. Get the guy over to third. You get a little blooper. And there you go. It's a 4-3 lead for the Orioles. 4-3 lead for the Orioles. It was just a little blooper. That's all you need. Just get the ball in play and you got the run. That's all you need to do. Lay down the sacrifice bunt. Runners over at third. It's like, I'm surprised you don't see that more often in these games. The runner on second rule. Like, I feel like there's so many times, even the Red Sox last night, they had the runner at second and they just wouldn't move the guy over. Luckily Martinez came through and got a big hit there. It's like, I'm just surprised these teams just don't do it more often. So, look at the Yankees today. They got 3 runs on 13 hits. The Orioles are taking advantage of the hits that they have. 4 hits today, 4 runs. Man. But, so Chad Green's looking to get through the next couple of outs without letting any more damage across. So as for the A's, their first win of the season today, they had Luzardo pitch pretty good today, 2 earned over 5 1/3. Bauer pitched today. He had 10 strikeouts. Look at Bauer, man. He's striking out a lot of guys. So far, Bauer, no decisions. So, he had the win, right? He had the win against the Rockies the other day. So Bauer so far, He's looking. Besides that 7th inning against the Rockies, Bauer's looked really good. So, as for the offense, where's Mookie at? Mookie didn't play today. Oh, I had a stiff back, huh? Looks like he's going to be playing on Friday. Already has himself a home run. But yeah, as for the A's, we had... here we go. So, Moreland. Was that a walk-off? Oh, yeah, it was a walk-off. So, yeah, it was a walk-off win. So let's go take a look at the Moreland walk-off base hit, the newest Oakland A. I love me some Mitchie 2 bags. So here we go. Here was the walk-off hit for Moreland today. Hey, base hit, center field, and there we go. There was nothing they could do. So, walk-off win for the A's today. First win of the season. So, good for the A's, man, because it's like, I think the A's have a talented team. I'm just like not really sure what the heck is going on with that A's team so far. It's early. Giants taking a win today on the road against the Padres. Mariners scoring 8 runs today against the White Sox, 8-4. Cardinals winning 7-0 today against the Marlins. Let's see if we can get any highlights pulled up. Yeah, Lorenzo Cain. I want to go look at that Lorenzo Cain home run. Lorenzo Cain with 2 homers today. Got Luis Sessa warming up for the Yankees right now. Wait, here we go. Yeah, Woodruff had himself a pretty good start today. Let's take a look at Mr. Brandon Woodruff. Oh, Brandon Woodruff is so good, man. 97 on the outside. So good. Oh, 98, just blowing it by him. Don't want to get a copyright claim from MLB.com. Yeah, Woodruff had himself a pretty good day. But Lorenzo Cain was the story. Just a bopper of a home run right there. Boom. He knew it too. But then Peterson in the 8th came up against Devin Williams. Peterson tying the game in the 8th inning. He knew it too. Woof. He missed it. Devin Williams missed his spot completely. Devin Williams was supposed to go to the outside corner, and just completely missed his spot. Look at where the pitch goes. He completely misses his spot. That's what you never want to go there with a lefty. Just down and in like that. David Ortiz, if he ever got a pitch right there, it was gone. Basically gone. But Jock Peterson tied the game at one point, but then Lorenzo Cain in the top of the 10th against Brandon Workman, taking it deep to center. And that ended up being the decisive winner, game winner. And there we go. And then the Brewers winning 4-2. So, taking a look elsewhere. Look at the Phillies today, blowing out the Mets 8-2. Look at the Phillies. Just blowing them out. Put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st there. Who pitched for the Mets today? David Peterson. He had himself a rough start today. Bullpen didn't really do all that good. Hey, Lucchesi did pretty good. 2 innings, 3 Ks. Nolo, kind of whatever. 4 innings, gave up a run. 5 Ks, 6 hits. Look, this Phillies bullpen is doing really good. Archie Bradley, actually one of the bigger names, didn't do very good today. 1 run. But Coonrod had a good inning. Neris had a good inning. Brogdon did really good. So this Phillies bullpen, they're coming to play right now, man. They've been pitching pretty well off to a 5-1 start. Could the Phillies be a surprise? Maybe a wild card team, maybe even a division winner. Could you see the Phillies win this division this year? I'll be honest. I kind of I think about the Phillies. I thought about the Phillies this offseason, and I'm like, I like this Phillies team. I don't hate the team. It's a really good offense. The starting pitching lacks a little depth. But the bullpen, I really liked what they did with the bullpen. So, Here's Luis Cessa coming in. We got one out here in the Bronx. Top of the 11th. Orioles have already taken the lead. So, yeah, Rhys Hoskins had a home run today. Alec Boehm had a home run today. Real Muto had a home run today. Yeah. Look at Real Muto today. A 3-run homer. Boehm had a 3-run homer. I mean, there you go. That's all the offense you need right there. So hitting their first home runs of the season. Phillies blowing out the Mets today. Phillies off to a great start. 5-1 start. That's what I'm saying. If these teams can start well, teams that get off to a good start, I think they have a better chance of doing well throughout the season. Because you just get that those good vibes going, Oh, but Luis Cessa's trying to get him out of this. So what are some games that you guys are watching right now? Or we got a couple of games on. You guys watching any games right now, or is everyone watching this one? Yankees, Orioles, Rockies. Hey, Jose Ramirez had a couple of home runs today. Let's go look at that Indians game. Actually, I didn't look at that Indians game. Rhys is killing it. He looks so clean at the plate, not trying to crush everything to dead center all the time. I feel like these guys, once they start to try to, not just hit for so much power and they just kind of let their swings take over, I feel like these guys end up just doing a lot better. But yeah, the Indians today. Oh, Bieber pitched today. What do you know? More strikeouts from Shane Bieber. More strikeouts. All the strikeouts for Shane Bieber. Luis Cessa walking a guy. Ugh, you got to hate watching this game right now as a Yankee fan. It's just moving slow. The bullpen's not able to get out of it. Bases are loaded now. There's one out. I always hate when the bullpen ends up they just come out and they just can't lock it down. It just feels like the game is going forever. It's not moving fast. It's just moving slow. Sports with AJ. What's going on, AJ? We're watching some Yankees-Orioles right now. Luis Cessa's in a bit of a bind. Luis Cessa's not doing very good right now. Got Santander up, 286 on the year so far. Cessa trying to make something happen here. Pablo, 2 for 4 in pinch hitting with a walk and 2 home runs. Look at Pablo Sandoval. Good old Pablo Sandoval. I missed that guy's belt. Oh, big strikeout there for Luis Cessa. Strikes him out. Needed that strikeout. Here comes McKenna. Big spot here. Bases loaded. Could the Orioles blow this open? 0-2 count here for Sessa. Oh, they got him. Gave him the call. Wow, gave him the call there. A little low. A little low according to the Yes Network strike zone. Man, oh man. Sessa getting a pretty good call there, but able to really get out of that bind. Bases loaded. Yankees still have a shot here. I mean, hey, a one-run game now in extra innings, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, one base hit and you tie the game. So... Oh. 42 people in the chat. Breaking 40 for the first time tonight. What's going on, everyone? We talked about some news tonight. We've talked about George Springer. We talked about Mike Soroka, Trevor Rosenthal. We talked about Yermin Mercedes a little bit. Talked about James Paxton. So if you are just coming in, definitely go back. So we're kind of just hanging out right now. We're just watching this Orioles-Yankees game at the moment. So, but yeah, thank you for stopping by. If anyone is new, think about hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me, everyone, if you haven't hit that like button already. Definitely helps it get out into the YouTube algorithm. So, definitely going to try and do this at least, a few times a week where we can sit down, talk about the news. I can put on a game. I can't put the game on right now, like on here, just because of copyrights and everything. So, but I can put MLB Game Day here, and I can watch the game on my TV and give my, live reactions so far. So, but here we go. Here comes Gardner coming up. Coming back to the Yankees this past offseason. Took Gardner a long time to figure out a deal with the Yankees. We got Pat Valaka in at second for the Orioles, taking over. He's remaining in the game, sorry. Paul Fry is on the mound for the Orioles. So far, he's only had one game. Gave up a run. Throwing from the left side, Mr. Paul Fry. Let's go take a look at some numbers with Paul Fry. So Gio Urshela will be the runner at second base. 2020, Paul Fry actually had himself a pretty good year. 2.45 ERA over 22 games. A lot of strikeouts. So this is going to be tough for the Yankees. Definitely going to be tough for the Yankees here. But we got Brett Gardner coming up. And then we're going to get to the top of the lineup. LeMahieu will be up after him. And then Torres. Could you maybe see Torres, who gave the game away, threw the lead away? And now we're in this, situation. Whoa! David Knight! What is going on? What do I think about the Red Sox? Thoughts so far? David Knight, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Hey, that first series was a complete bummer. I'm ripping my hair out over Rafael Devers making throwing errors and fielding errors and whatever. And but hey, that series against the Rays was fun. JD Martinez with the walk-off yesterday. And then a good offense today. It's actually, it's funny. I never actually pulled up that Red Sox game from today when we were going over all the scores. And there we go. Yankees get Urshela over to third on the ground out. So there we go. Brett Gardner doing his job. Let's go take a look. Oh, it's a sacrifice bunt. Sacrifice bunt. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that. That's what I'm saying. Bunt the guys over. It should be that simple. Bunt, runner over, sac fly, ground out, ties the game. It's that simple. But looking at the Red Sox-Rays game today, we had a lot of offense from the Red Sox today. I was watching this game actually in the fifth inning, putting up 6 runs. Big inning there. Evaldi actually looked pretty good. Christian Vasquez today had the 2-run home run. Got to watch out for these copyrights. So yeah, Vasquez, a laser. This one guy. This one guy on the monster. Just living his best life, man. Everyone, he says, oh my God. Can we make that a meme? That'd be a great meme. I know, Ukester. I know bunting's not that easy. It's, you know, it just seems like it would be easy. Trust me, in high school, I was not very good at bunting, but they're major league players. Come on. You're in the major leagues. You should know how to at least bunt decently. But yeah, I love this guy. I want this to be a meme. Can this just be a meme? This one guy just so happy about the home run. But yeah, Vasquez today looked really good. Evaldi looked really good today. Vasquez also had another RBI at one point. But yeah, Evaldi, he looked pretty good. Nice little change up right there. Good little slider right there. Another slider right there from Evaldi. Look at that fastball right there. 99, just blowing it by him, man. Just blowing it by him. Hey, good for YouTube today for putting on this game. I said this earlier, but YouTube needs to do more of this, you know? YouTube is growing just so... people are just looking more at YouTube stuff now these days, you know? They're not really... They're cutting the cord with cable. Yeah, Evaldi, he did really good. Oh, LeMahieu, that's a liner. Here's a throw home. Oh, he's out by a mile. He is out by a mile. Oh, my. And that's the game. Oh. LeMahieu, a laser to right. Oh, man. There's no way Urshela was going to beat that, man. I mean, it was a great throw from Santander. I mean, I don't know. Like, I get the aggressiveness. You got to make the guy make a play. Urshela just basically got hit right in the face with the glove. Oh. Oof. He was out by a mile. I mean, I don't know. I'm all about being aggressive, but I don't know about that, man. I mean, that was shallow. Guy's got a good arm. Urshela's not that fast. I don't know. I'm not understanding. I'm not really understanding. I don't know. I think if you get another out and then you got Torres coming up, Torres could have tied the game. I mean, I get it being aggressive, but I don't know. That one, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But alrighty, everyone. I'm going to get out of here. That's all the baseball for me tonight. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Checking out what we got going on here on this channel. We're talking about all the news all the time. We're watching some baseball this season. I'm pretty excited for everything this coming season. So we're off to a pretty fun start already. Before I get out of here, everyone, if you are new, hit that subscribe button for me. We're talking baseball here all the time. We're trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. A bit of a stretch, but who knows? Maybe we could do it. Hit that like button for me, everyone. Anyone that wasn't able to come in tonight. Maybe the likes will help push it out onto the algorithm a little bit more. And for all those people that weren't able to catch up on the news as well, follow me on Twitter if you would like to talk some baseball throughout the day. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I want to thank you for coming out. Appreciate all of you all the time coming in and talking some baseball. So, everyone, have yourself a good night. I will be back tomorrow night. We will be talking some more news, hopefully some less injuries for tomorrow, hopefully some more good news to talk about. But everyone, have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.